Last Christmas, my 4-year-old daughter absolutely lost her mind in all of the wrong ways. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick little story about how this applies to you, but just stick with it. If you're just now seeing my face, my name is Master Johnson. I have a tendency for making things make sense. I also do a lot of other things. But leading up to Christmas, my daughter, she wanted this giant, big-ass, pink car, essentially. And it's one of those things that come in a big, giant box, and nevertheless, the evening before, we'll say Christmas Eve, she looks at this giant box and she looks at me and she says, "Dad, is that the Barbie car? Is that it? Is that the Barbie car?" And I said, "I guess we're going to have to figure it out tomorrow." So then, as her eyes light up and as I can see her body start to practically shake with excitement, she says, "Okay, Dad, let's go to bed." So again, you can envision, I know you can probably put yourself there. She's asleep, and if you're a parent, and you're a newer parent at that point, maybe even older parent, it's so exciting to be able to, put the bows on the presents and set the damn cookies out and the powdered footprints and the whole nine. And, my lovely lady and I are staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning building this goddamn car, and there's just so much fuckery going on, but it's lovely. It's absolutely gorgeous. Needless to say, finally lay into bed, and I kid you not, the moment my head hits the pillow, her eyes open, boom, and she says, "Dad, I think I heard Santa Claus." He said, "We gotta go back to sleep, because if we see Santa, Dad's gotta square up with Santa. And last I saw, Santa can throw some hands, so we gotta go to bed, baby." So then, of course, she says, okay, she does this. It's just adorable. So then as she falls back asleep the next morning, I swear, the moment that the sunlight hits my window, man, this girl is up. And so she looks at mom, she looks at dad, she looks at her 2-year-old brother, and she says, "It's time." So then we go downstairs, and of course, we've displayed all the presents out correctly. And of course, she sees this big, beautiful Ford Mustang GT, all pink and white, Barbie car with a big bow on top, right? And this is where it gets crazy. The moment she saw it, she immediately, her body basically stiffens up. She has this blank stare on her face. I'm thinking this is excitement, but then I start to see tears welling up in her eyes. And I say, what's going on? Are we excited? And she says, "Daddy, I don't want it." And in my head, my mind automatically goes to, "What are you talking about? This thing was like $450 freaking bucks for a little damn car." Da-da-da-da-da. Mind chatter. But then Daddy comes over and, okay, let me go ahead and diagnose this. And I said, "Well, why don't we want that?" And she says, "I don't want to break it. I don't want Atlas," that's my son, "to break it. I don't want to scratch it. It's too pretty. I'm afraid, Dad, that I may not be able to take care of it." And at that moment, I had a thought in my head, and I looked, I come down here, and our eyes lock, and I said, "What do you mean?" And she says, "I'm afraid to drive it, Dad. It just is so amazing, but I don't know how she comes up with this. She's 4 years old." She says, "It's a big responsibility." So in that moment, I said, okay, here we go. It's not the responsibility, this is what I'm thinking, that she's afraid of. She just doesn't know how capable she is. So of course, I go ahead and I hold her, and she feels her feelings and feels her emotions and all the great things. And then we go over to the car, and I say, "Lila, here's the deal. I can put you in the car, or I can open the door for you and you can get in the car." And she says, "I'll get in the car." I say, okay. So I open the door, and she gets in the car, and then I close the door, and I can start to see that there's a little bit more excitement, but she's still pretty, cautious. Now, my daughter and I, we have these magic 3 words, okay? And the magic 3 words are, "I got this." Put that in the comments if you're still with me. I got this. So I say, "Baby, what are the magic 3 words?" She looks at me, we make eye contact, she says, "I got this," and her hands reach out and grab the wheel. Now, what she doesn't know is I have a remote control to the car. So the moment her hands touch the wheel, I slowly start moving the car. She says, oh, it's moving. And I start to see her confidence start to take off. And I start to see a smile appear on her face. And I start to see that childlike excitement start to come in. She forgot about her fear, right? Because she had a little bit of a nut. She forgot about her fear. And as she starts to recognize that it's not that scary, and I start to pick up the speed, she's sitting here in exhilaration saying, I got this, I got this, I got this. And as I see my 4-year-old daughter in this bright pink freaking Mustang GT having the time of her life, it's in that moment that I recognize something. See, I'm a business owner, entrepreneur of many sorts, and as a coach, mentor, and tactical leader inside of this stuff, I see that same exact fear happen for a lot of the individuals that I coach when their dreams start to manifest. They start to come true. They start to have this thing called imposter syndrome. And when they have imposter syndrome, see what ends up happening is they question their capability before they're actually in the availability to see what they're capable of. In other words, we have to break through that sabotage in order to recognize that God didn't put this thing, this vision in your life for you to feel inadequate towards it. God put it there for you to recognize and have a vessel at which you get to see what you are capable of. See, because ironically, she thought she was driving the car, but she did not know that it was me. She did not know that I was the one controlling where this car was going, so she didn't hit any walls or run over her 2-year-old brother or anything like that. And ironically, symbolically, that's God within ourselves, that higher and deeper level of intelligence that says, oh my God, I'm so scared in this area, in this part of my life, but it's God orchestrating all of these things for you so that you will go through what you should, but not anything more than what you need to. Is this making sense? This is basically a very awesome story that I'm telling you because at a certain point in time, you just cannot sabotage the leadership that you have. You can't sabotage the vision that you have just because the old self or there's a version of you that is scared. One of my favorite quotes is, growth is only experienced when you do the things you feel unqualified for. Feeling unqualified and being unqualified are two massively different things. Listen, if you need help with this, I run a masterclass. Actually, today is the next one, every Friday, where I get to show you how to break through this sabotage, how to be more disciplined, more focused, and pretty much operate at your highest level so that you can finally see what you're capable of. If you'd like to do that, find me on Instagram, Master Johnson Official, and just send me the word masterclass and I'll get you all taken care of. But until then, keep focused. Understand you're in this part of your life because this part of life needs you.